As we all know, Pete Buttigieg is this really fancy, smart guy who went to multiple schools and speaks about 27 languages, am I right? At least that's what we're hearing. But we did hear from this guy to my right, Cenk Uygur, about his real feelings of what his potential usefulness is of these languages. What was it again? Maybe you can tell us, refresh our memory.
Yeah, I realized he doesn't speak Norwegian. So now why did I come to that conclusion? I, like everyone else, believed that he spoke Norwegian when he said he spoke Norwegian at the beginning, because we didn't really know him. And so here comes this young candidate, interesting guy, super smart guy, went to Harvard, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I was interested in a book, so I learned but it was only in Norwegian, so I learned Norwegian to read the book. And we're all amazed by that story. And then he plays the piano really well, and he shows up at like a symphony or something, orchestra, plays the piano. You're like, just like this kid wonder, right? And so I think that makes him Robin. Anyway, so I had no reason to disbelieve it. And then we ran the campaign, and the guy keeps saying things that aren't true and keeps switching his positions. And then you get a sense, oh, this guy's a total phony. And then afterwards, I was like, wait a minute. He doesn't speak Norwegian. That was like a great line to get all the Joe Scarboroughs of the world to love him, and it totally worked. So that was my prediction, because I don't know the dude and I don't know how well he knows Norwegian, but it was about a week ago, I said, I don't think he speaks Norwegian. So Jayar, what
well, see the thing, you're the skeptic now, but what happens is, what would happen in these situations, someone would say, hey, tell me have a nice day in Norwegian, because that's what people who would still be thinking he speaks Norwegian would say. In this particular instance, he's in, of course, Nevada for the debate and of course the primary, and someone asked him, we're in Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Hey Pete, take it away, let us know what it sounds like in Norwegian.
Det som skjedde på Vegas skal ligge der. Skal ligge der. I don't know. Any Norwegians here? I don't know.
Spaghetti.
I mean Norwegian, but I did hear in English him say, I don't know.
Yeah. I know Vegas. And I know someone doing BS when I see one. Okay, but what I love most of all is I then, after I talked about it on the Young Turks, I went on Twitter and I said, next time he's somewhere, please, somebody ask him to say something in Norwegian. And boom, there it is. Somebody asked him right afterwards, a couple of days later, to say something in Norwegian. So did he get it right, Jayar?
Well, me being the multi-language speaker that I am, we did have to get someone to check it out, but apparently on Twitter, someone was pointing out what he actually said. Let's go to that. This was Alex Burish. Mayor Pete was asked to say, quote, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas in Norwegian, as we pointed out. What he actually said, as Alex pointed out with a terrible accent, was, det som, I'm not gonna try it, but it's a bunch of Norwegian words. Translated, that means, that which happened on Vegas lay there, unquote. This dude cannot speak Norwegian, says Alex Burish on Twitter. And also Brett asked his Norwegian friend, because apparently we all have one. And his Norwegian friend also went on to say, he said LMAO, yeah, it went full on, that which happened on Vegas shall lay there. So it's the same translation.
So it is true, okay.
And so we've got a confirmation.
Yeah.
I wish we knew how to say in Norwegian, that's bullshit.
I think he might have said it in the beginning. I want to watch that. It sounded like.
Let's hear it again.
I thought he said that's some bullshit. Let's watch.
Som skjedde på Vegas skal ligge der. Skal ligge der. I don't know. Any Norwegians here? I don't know.
I thought he said that's some shit.
His brain was supposed to stay in his brain when you have the internal thought. You go, oh, that's some shit. Okay, so also on top of that, this is one of those things where, also with Spanish, we did this. You heard this last week when he couldn't even get out enough words in Spanish to say, I'm the Mayor Pete from South Bend and welcome. He couldn't get that part out. So Spanish is, of course, at least in our region of the world, is even more common of a second language to know. But that one didn't even work out for Pete because he's in the middle of the country. I don't know what it is. So I pushed it so far as to say, John and I talked about it. Even with the Spanish, it's rehearsing lines. Of course, I'm sure he's learned some Spanish in his life, but you rehearse a line the same way you rehearse a line in English. Like you may have two sentences you want to say in English and a speech, And if you flub it, it doesn't mean you don't know any English. It just means you were trying to recite these lines. So just as fake as you are in English, you can be just as fake in Spanish. And that's kind of what happened. He couldn't memorize his lines well enough.
Yeah. So look, guys, if you're saying, hey, he has a bad accent, who cares? I'm with you. I don't care that he has a bad accent. You don't have to have a good accent in Norwegian, right?
Yeah.
So we're not trying to be unfair. And was he close enough? Not really, but like it wasn't like he didn't know any of the words.
Right.
He got to like what happens on Vegas, right?
Sounds dirty.
So it like our contention was that he doesn't know any words of Norwegian. No, we were just saying that he's a BS artist, so he's overstating that he's perfectly fluent in Norwegian, and everybody ran with that folk story and gave him all the credit in the world. And it turns out we were right. Of course, he was overstating it. And by the way, if you can't say stays in Vegas and you say instead lay there, you did not read a book in Norwegian. Let's just keep it real on that too.
This is the main thing about it. It's not even necessary to know Norwegian in order to run for president. Who cares? It's such an unnecessary, I mean, we're gonna go with and assume a lie that he told. Who cares? You don't know Norwegian, it's fine. The past however many 44 presidents and the current 45 presidents probably don't know much Norwegian. I assume maybe they do.
Yeah.
But that didn't help them do the job. And especially beforehand, it's a useless lie. It just shows the depth of this emptiness.
The flip side to that is that it was actually a useful lie. Like, so I'll give Buttigieg credit for being a smart liar. He knew that if he said something random like that, not I know Spanish, who cares? Everybody knows Spanish, I don't, but a lot of politicians do, right? You don't get credit for that. If you learned Chinese, oh, that's smart, but like again, like people are starting to learn Chinese because China is so important in the world now. If you say, I randomly learned Norwegian to read a book, that's, oh, so intellectually curious.
Oh yeah, he did it
smart.
for the sake of reading a book.
That's right. And so he knew the establishment media would eat that up, and the donors would eat that up, and he was totally right about that. And just nobody bothered to call him on his BS.
Well, now they have to quiz him. Are they gonna ask him more, or are they just gonna let this go?
Yeah. All of a sudden,
no, nobody's going to.
The face of a guy who just got caught. What happened in Vegas did not lay there. Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, Jayar. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.